Hello and welcome back to Two Cups Between. I'm Jordan, here with Sam.
Hi, what's up?
Hmm,
Buttercup.
oh God. What in the hell was that?
I mean, hi. Hello. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good today. I think I'm good today.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I had a good day today.
Yeah.
My week wasn't bad. It's just been busy, I think.
This week was haha. Um wow. Yeah. How are you?
Well, it was busy mentally.
Uh-huh.
Um, there was a lot. There was a lot going on this week, but I think today was such a good day that I'm kind of like, oh, it was fine.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Um, yeah, it's just been, I mean, I've had a lot of school stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've been very like, I've had to do like, mock clinical interactions. So
Mm-hmm.
I've had to be very like on, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Yeah.
But it's been a difficult one. Like I'm feeling the Pisces-ness so hard
Mm-hmm.
that like my sleep doesn't feel like sleep. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like so deep and like extremely like the dreams are just on 1,000 this week.
Mm-hmm.
But then I have to get up in the morning and like live in this skin suit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's been a little rough, and I've just had a lot of early mornings where I'm just like, I need to put my game face on and
Mm-hmm.
pretend everything's fine. And then on top
Absolutely.
of that, I've just been having like really weird period issues. So then even getting up in the morning
Mm.
and like I need to extra put my game face on
Right. Right.
while I'm doing, all these things and like being evaluated. So it's
Mm-hmm.
been a little stressful. But today was like the day I could sleep in a bit. I mean, instead of sleeping in, I stayed up way too late last night, just like listening to music and chilling because I think I just
Yeah.
haven't had that time
Right.
to myself to enjoy
Mm-hmm.
anything. So
Yeah.
I kind of
Yeah.
probably should have just rested, but instead I did that. But today has been a good
Mm-hmm.
day, and I think I can look back and be okay with this week, but
Mm-hmm.
it has been a lot.
Yeah. Uh it started off.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. It started.
It
um
started.
Monday was special. What I wrote down, because I was reflecting on my week, like as it was going.
Yeah.
Monday, I said hot garbage.
Cool. Good. Yeah. Good way to describe
um,
it.
Monday was really, I think it was overall like a fine day. And then in the evening,
Uh
it
huh.
was bad. It was
Yeah.
bad. Um, and that's all I'll say. It was bad. Um, so I had like kind of a bad night and just like went to bed kind of grumpy.
Mm.
Um, Tuesday was also bad, but I can't remember why. I didn't like it. Tuesday was not good. I think it was like how poorly Monday night ended really just affected me still on Tuesday.
Yeah. It like carried over.
Yeah, it really did. The shitty mood, the shitty energy. Um yeah, that sucked. And then Wednesday and Thursday, like normally I stream fairly consistently Monday through Friday. Except every other Wednesday I can't cuz I can't be in my bedroom all day.
Mm.
Um but yeah, normally I stream Monday through Friday, but this week I skipped 2 days, which I haven't done since like January. I haven't
Mm.
skipped a couple of days in a row, like literally, unless I had already pre-planned to not stream on those
Mm-hmm.
days.
Mm-hmm.
So I skipped streaming Wednesday and Thursday, which was like is not what I like to do at this
Mm.
point. Well, Wednesday was just exhausting. I wasn't streaming that day, but Thursday, yesterday was just tiring. And that's okay. I was just resting most of the day, chilling. I didn't talk to anyone until the evening, not
Yeah,
even my
I
family.
also really didn't talk to
Yeah.
anyone yesterday. I was
Um,
really out for the count.
yeah. But today's been good. Like, very busy for me. I streamed, then had like a half an hour break, went straight into another stream with a friend on their channel. And then that lasted 3 hours, which was unexpected. And then I
Oh
had
wait,
about an
three
hour.
hours?
Yeah, it was like 2 hours and 40 minutes, I
Oh
think it
my
ended up
god.
being for our whole segment. Um,
Amazing.
yeah, it was so long. And then I had about an hour to kill before podcast recording session started, since we're recording 3 episodes today, you know?
Yeah, no big deal.
No big
No
deal.
big deal.
We have a little pre recording to do, which is totally fine. And since today is pretty much the only day we can record, and I'm leaving the country on Tuesday,
Uh,
so I don't have a ton of time, we
Casual.
needed to record this as soon as possible so I have as much time as possible to edit everything.
Yeah.
Like, we have a lot of work to do tonight, and I've had enough energy all day. I'm not actually like worried about it.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It's
I
been
feel like I'm
enjoyable.
gonna once we're done with it, I'm gonna like pass out.
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna wash my face and crash, and then I have to babysit at fucking 6:45 tomorrow, which is
Wonderful. Which you
I'm
just
ready to
found
quit.
out
Yeah,
at
I'm ready to quit.
9 p.m.
Yep.
the night before on a Friday. It's
Yep.
fine. So much
It's fine.
respect here for
It's
time
fine.
and whatever.
Yep.
Um yeah, I feel hmm I feel like I've been frustrated with how busy I've been, which is I don't know. It's weird. I feel like I haven't been as like reflective and introspective as like first of all I've been telling people to be because of the current astrology.
Mm-hmm.
Um and just like what I was saying with my dreams, like I know that I'm like going through some shifts of some kind. Like I need to like kind of check in with myself and
Mm-hmm.
um like I can feel the like pressure to do it. It's kind of hard to explain, but I don't feel that way all the time. There are definitely times where I'm just like, "Oh, I'm busy doing the real life stuff."
Yeah.
Um and then I'll kind of isolate away and do this kind of like deep introspection and meditation and stuff like that and come
Mm-hmm.
back. And I've been feeling the need to do it. I've been seeing the signs to do it. I've been having the dreams
Mm.
to do it, right?
Right.
But I just like haven't like literally haven't logistically been able to.
Mm-hmm.
So it almost feels it's weird. Like I don't have a religion where I feel obligated to like do any rituals or any
Mm-hmm.
worshiping,
Right.
but my spirituality is so personal to me that if
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like fulfilling if I'm not I don't even know if fulfilling is the right word, but if I'm not like being enough of a steward to my spirituality, I almost feel like I'm disappointing myself,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all like on me. It's not anything that anyone's making me do.
Right.
But it's kind of like I'm almost like betraying myself and like ignoring something that I should be doing that's good for
Right.
me because I'm just too busy. And then like when I do have time, I'm too tired from all the stuff
Yes.
we've been doing. So
Yes.
I'm hoping that will shift soon. I'm hoping there will be like a little more time next week and like after my exam, especially next week,
Mm-hmm.
to do that.
Right.
Um, and like that I won't just be exhausted and burnt out.
Yes.
I'm kind of afraid of that at this point.
Right.
Like I've been doing as best as I can to keep resting and not like overstrain myself, but now I feel
Mm-hmm.
quite behind. So it's kind of like how do I solve it? And hopefully this
Mm-hmm.
weekend will really help. I've said
Yes.
no to like every plan.
Good.
You know what I mean? And
Yes.
most people are on the same page about that, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Good.
but it's just gonna be and so many terms are having exams next week. that's just going to be
Mm.
so high strung. Like the whole environment's going to be very,
Mm-hmm.
like, you
The
can
energy is
tell
gonna be wild.
it's going to be bad.
Stress.
And I'm stocking up. I'm already stocking up on ultraviolet, Monster Ultraviolet, because I know the stores are going to be ransacked. So I have 4 on me right
Bro.
now. I'm going to get more tomorrow
Oh my god.
just in case.
Bro.
Anyway, but
Okay.
yeah, so that's kind of how it's been going. My group therapy session was like kind of deep, on an interesting level.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about like trust in relationships,
Yeah.
which I hadn't explored that much. I don't know. I haven't really thought of myself of like, do I like not trust people? But like
Oh.
obviously I have some some issues there. But the conversation went more towards like not trusting female friends, which is why I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
bring it up with you.
Oh.
Because so many we're an all women group that kind of just like happened uh
Yeah.
unexpectedly. There were a couple of men, and I think one of them completely dropped out, which is
Oh.
unfortunate. He
Yeah.
got like really deep about a personal experience, and I think that freaked him out, and he left.
Mm.
At least
Uh-huh.
that's what it seems like.
Right.
Um, and then there's another guy, but I think he just wasn't able to for his schedule. I'm not sure, but
Mm-hmm.
we just ended up getting on the subject about not trusting female friends.
Mm.
Um, and so many so many girls experienced like their friends getting with someone they liked or trying to get with their boyfriends, and I was like, I can't imagine this
Yeah.
drama at this point in my life.
Right.
Certainly when I was younger.
Sure.
And I do think I had like this phase of not trusting any like female femme friendships for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And like it was in college with our friend group who were mostly female or in femme,
Right.
where I healed that, and like I can't imagine that sort of thing with any of you.
Oh
You
my
know?
god. Yeah.
Like, can you imagine me
No.
trying to go after someone you like?
No, not even a little bit.
Like,
It like doesn't make sense to
it
me.
doesn't even make sense. And like, why would you do that?
It's so weird.
Yeah, there were a lot, and everyone was on the same page, and I was like, this is wild. Like,
This is
who are
really what
these
you think
people
about?
you're friend? Yeah, like
I
who are these
know.
people you're friends with?
Yeah. That's
Um,
bizarre.
yeah, it was pretty sad. I mean, that wasn't the only subject, but that was like kind of the main thing we got into.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm interested to see how it turns out. Like, I don't know. I do think our therapy group is slowly getting closer. I think it's
Uh-huh.
like a very slow process, which is to be
Mm.
expected.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's been interesting. I know I was telling you before, like, oh, I don't know if this is working for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because like so far the main topics of discussion don't feel very relatable to me. I am getting insight from other people's stories.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm not sure if that's therapy for me yet.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I'm not sure if that's helping me dig deep enough.
Right.
But I'm not sure where it was that I heard this some podcast I listened to this week. I listened to quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
But someone was saying like, it's really hard to see the progress of any therapy until many, many years later.
Yeah,
Um
for sure.
so I'm trying to be a little patient with that. Like I think I have like an expectation of digging so deep for a
Yes.
therapy session.
Right.
And like maybe I do need that at some point, but I'm trying to see that this is still beneficial, at least in having some conversations with people in the same like institution every week who are going
Mm-hmm.
through similar things, at
Right.
least. Um so yeah, that was, I mean, like I said, group therapy is always an interesting start to the week. Cuz I
Yeah.
usually start the week and I'm like, I don't want to go to this. Um
Absolutely.
but then it gives me something to kind of think about for the rest of the week, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I really wanted to bring up the thing that everyone was like, I can't stand these females, and I was like, I don't like how this is going. But I mean, once they all told stories of this happening, not all of them, but like quite a few of them, I was
Yeah.
like, what is happening where this is like a norm or like this is
Right.
so common?
Like,
But
am
yeah.
I don't know, I'd be like, am I missing something? Because
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
not
cause that happened to me in middle school.
right.
You know? Um, Definitely happened to me in middle school, but I don't think
Hmm.
it didn't make me distrust other girls. It made me more pessimistic about people being attracted to me instead of like someone else,
Hmm.
you know? So I don't know why that happened. And
Yeah.
why for other people it was just like, well, now I just don't trust women and I don't want to be friends with women because of this.
So weird. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I was like,
Yeah,
maybe try blaming the men. I don't know.
I've just literally never had that thought that like one of my friends is gonna steal the person I'm with or
Yeah.
something. I don't know. I can think of one person who might have, but that was my a high school friend, and I'm not friends with them anymore.
Well,
So
did you have that experience of like telling someone you like them and then, or telling
no,
one of your friends that you
it was
like
never
someone?
that. It was just like I could see it happening.
Yeah.
Like if I had relationships in high school, I could see this person that I was friends with like
Uh huh.
pushing up on the person I was dating for no reason.
Oh God. It definitely happened to me in middle school. I was like, oh, I like I like this person,
Hmm.
and this girl was like, oh my God, like you should make a move. Like no, you shouldn't be self conscious. I think you guys would be so good together. All this stuff, blah blah blah,
Uh,
and then literally dated him,
good lord, dude.
and then cheated on him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that this was my life in middle school apparently.
Well, okay.
But then also in Peace Corps, I remember one of my friends. I mean, this wasn't even a serious thing. She was like, "This is a guy I want to hook up with, right?"
Oh.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
and we were like going out, like we were going
Mm-hmm.
out, and we were like getting ready, doing like the getting ready things,
Yeah.
dancing. And one of the girls was like, "Yes, yes, yes, I'm gonna do your makeup. Like, you're gonna look so hot." And then he's gonna like whatever. You're gonna whatever seduce him. I don't know. This was
Right.
not my game.
Mm-hmm.
And then literally this girl who was doing all this stuff, saying all this stuff, literally tried to sleep with this man
Oh
that night.
my god.
It was
Drama.
rancid. It was so much drama. I'm so glad to be away from this stuff now.
Lordy,
But
lordy,
yeah,
dude.
can you imagine? I can't.
No,
Us?
literally no.
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 First of all, our tastes are a little different.
Exactly. Our taste in men is different. It's fine.
In
Okay.
men. All women are gorgeous, so
Exactly. Women,
doesn't count.
we still wouldn't do this to each other, but
Exactly.
women are hot, so we do have similar opinions about women.
Which is that women are hot.
Women are hot.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. My taste in women is yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh my god. But yeah, I just found that interesting.
Yep.
But that's kind of how my that's kind of how my week was anyway.
Yeah.
I had
Oh.
I had very spiritual dreams,
Mhm.
and now because I wasn't able to like really sit with it, it feels so distant to me now.
Right, right.
So that I think that's what that disappointed feeling comes from, is that like I didn't, and it's not like it's gone forever, but
Mhm.
it's hard to have really like poignant dreams like that for me,
Mhm.
when I'm not actively trying to get into a state and like do those things. So when it happened, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is a chance!" But then I didn't have any time to really sit and think about it for a long enough time. Like if you dream and then you don't get up and write it down or put it somewhere, you're gonna forget it pretty much.
Absolutely.
So it's been a little annoying.
Yeah.
Um, but hopefully I'll get my sleep schedule in order,
Mhm.
because my ideal thing and what I've been able to successfully do before is to wake up early enough to not have to get ready immediately to leave
Right.
and go do the things. Like I have a couple hours, but alas.
Yeah.
Alas, Pisces season has me asleep
Look,
and
it's
awake at the
exhausting
wrong
out
time.
here. Right.
Yeah.
It's exhausting out here, okay?
But yeah, I don't know what what else happened this week.
Um,
People
I don't
have been a
know. Everybody's
little
attitudes were on 20 and I hated
yo.
it.
People have been, and listen, Mercury. We'll get into it, but Mercury's entering Aries tomorrow, and it's not going to get better.
Nope.
people really, people really need to just think before they speak and or post
Yeah,
or whatever
I also
communication.
need people to like take a second
Just take a moment. A
and
moment.
think like, huh, am I overreacting? And that's it. I just need
That's
them to take a step back.
that's it. And I just don't, with the astrology coming up, I don't know if that's gonna
It's not
get
gonna
better.
happen.
Yeah,
It's not.
it's fine. But you know, it is what it is. I've been trying to like shield myself from it
Yeah.
as much as possible.
You really dodged a bullet Monday night by not being present for what set my week off on in the worst way. Um it was just bad. And like I'm not upset at this point. I'm
Yeah.
just like it's more like the long-term things that I'm thinking about right now and
Yeah. Yeah.
um how it will affect some of my relationships, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
people are gonna be a little testy for a little while.
Yes, indeed.
I think the I think what I'm trying to do is like take things a little less personally.
Yes, everybody needs to do that too.
Yeah, yeah.
Think about what's being said to you and think, is this a personal attack
I mean, most
or
of the time it's really not. Most of the time,
exactly?
and I mean, this is quite. It's hard to do in practice,
Mm-hmm.
but like most of the time when someone is reacting to you, they're
Mm-hmm.
reacting to them. Ooh, deep. They're.
Yes, but it's true.
It is true. Like most of the time, I'll say most
Mm-hmm.
of the time.
Most of the time.
Um, so it's kind of it's hard to do, and it's okay if we react back. Like,
Mm-hmm.
things happen.
Yep.
But just thinking, like, huh, were they really trying to attack me, or was this more of like their expression of emotion?
Yeah.
Something I did triggered their reaction, and
Mm-hmm.
their reaction is also triggering me.
Right.
And just like making sure to stop it at some point so that it just doesn't keep, I don't know, spiraling.
Yes.
Um, so that's kind of why I've been keeping to myself a lot this week, for
Yeah,
sure.
I ended up keeping to myself a lot more. I mean, like I obviously streamed, which doesn't allow me to truly keep to myself. You know what I
Right.
mean? But like it I didn't talk to anyone outside of stream.
But also when you stream, it's not, I don't know, I feel like you are able to, I don't know what it is. It kind of keep it cordial in a way.
Oh,
Cuz you're
yeah,
just hosting a
there's
stream, you
right.
know?
Right. There's, stream niceties,
Yes.
politeness like that
Yes.
you just follow. And I don't know. I enjoy interacting like with my community and people aren't usually trying to set me off or saying things that make me
Not
angry.
that early in the
So,
morning.
not usually.
So,
So, I just this week was not everybody was not in their best behavior including me. I was in a bad mood. Everyone was in a bad mood, and that's okay. But like this week I think some friendships were actually damaged a little bit. I'm going to be honest. Some relationships were impacted by the
mm,
shenanigans, the poor behavior and actions of everyone involved.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense with I mean, we talked about Venus and Taurus being this like lovely thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know we'll get into the astrology, but I
Right.
think it's been probably pointing out a lot of stuff about our current relationships and
Yes.
pointing out standards that maybe we didn't realize. Like, you know, you don't realize you have a standard about your relationships until someone breaks them. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yes,
And then
absolutely.
you're like, oh, actually, it turns out this is something I won't tolerate.
Yep.
I haven't seen it yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not tolerating this. And having that boldness to create those boundaries
Mm-hmm.
is like a huge lesson from Venus and Taurus, I think. And it might
Yeah.
not be easy for people, especially if your placements are not quite as bold or a little more catering.
Right.
Like maybe a Libra or even a Pisces
Mm-hmm.
Venus, or I'm trying to think of a more like a light, even I don't know. You tell me. I think even like a Virgo placement will want to just like keep keep things going. Like
Yeah.
I'll save face for this.
Yes, Virgos will stay in denial for a long time. I think a Virgo
Yeah.
Venus would hold the peace, and like it would take something egregious to make a
Right.
Virgo
Right.
Venus snap. You'd be on the verge of like burning down their house, you know? Like
Yeah. I think Virgo and
it could take a
Pisces.
lot.
Uh,
Make a lot of excuses for people.
yes. Oh, that's such a perfect way to put it. Because like they're really not tolerating it, but they will kind of just
They'll
go
try to
with it.
play it off and be like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Absolutely.
it's fine." They're not usually
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
and but they are. They're usually
Yeah.
like
When
that.
people say that
Stop
Pisces
tricking
and
yourself.
especially Virgos have such a like
Mhm.
venomous tongue about what they don't dislike, it's
Yeah.
probably because they've been holding the taste in their mouth for way too long, and then they're
Yes.
like, yeah, I'm gonna spit this out with some
Yes.
venom now because
Exactly.
I've been tolerating this for too long and no one else is giving me that same like
Mhm.
consideration. So
Absolutely.
um but yeah, I don't know, it's been an interesting week regarding that. I think I've just intuitively retreated a
Yes.
bit to avoid those kinds of upsets. I mean, I know for me, this is something I wanted to bring up, is that in a lot of my tarot readings, and not just ones I'm doing,
Mhm.
but tarot readers that I watch, and
Mhm.
multiple of them that I read, either like readings for Pisces or readings where you pick a card. So like
Mhm.
it's just by chance that I've been getting the 7 of Swords a ton,
Mhm.
which is not one of the most comfy, cushy cards in the tarot. It has a lot to do with deception, disgrace, etc.
Mhm.
um, and so, you know, I was trying to examine like, is there something I'm doing that's being deceptive towards
Mhm.
people?
Yeah.
Um, you know, do I need to be aware of other people around me, of like what I'm putting my energy towards? Um, and I've definitely examined that I'm a bit hot and cold with people.
Mhm.
Um, like, you know, I've been going to people and being like, "Oh, this person annoys me. This person and that person, whatever, it has been annoying."
Mhm.
And then I've found out like things about their personal lives that made me feel quite bad
Mm.
for saying things.
Mhm.
Um, and but then also being frustrated that now I'm being unloaded upon about this person's like personal backstories. So then I'm
Right.
annoyed again. Like I'm trying to be empathetic, but also like, why is this all being put on me? Like it's quite frustrating
Yes.
because like I don't have the same pleasure to just go and tell people all of my business either.
Mhm.
So then I'm further retreating to just avoid all of this drama.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
hearing all of this, like this person, that person, they're fake, they lie about everything. And I'm just like, I can't do this right now. You guys
Right.
need to figure this out. Okay?
Yeah.
Like I'm not involved. So it's just been a little, I don't know, prickly. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells around people these days.
Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's such a mess, dude. I'm just like I just can't. I'm just like, do you even like hear yourselves these
Oh,
days? Do you hear what you're saying? The way you're talking to people, the way you're talking about people,
mm,
the way like you're just talking at people
yeah.
without realizing that they're not in a place to hear all of this, or like without asking or considering how other people are feeling. Like
Mm,
none of this is taken into consideration. No one cares. You're all overreacting. You're being
mm,
dramatic. Like no one's dumping on you. You're just like overreacting, you
mm,
know?
yeah.
It's just like people are speaking people are
Without,
not yes, they're speaking without thinking. They're not thinking before speaking. They're not thinking about anyone else, which is a little bit part of Venus and Taurus, right? It is a
yeah,
selfish placement or
yeah,
self-centered, self-centric placement. But it's like you can't forget that other people exist and
right,
like not
right,
consider them at all. That's not allowed. It's
yeah,
just like saying no to plans. Like it's not nobody else fucking matters. I'm the only person who fucking matters in the world. I don't care
right,
how I talk to people. I don't care what I say to them. That doesn't matter. It's not that.
mm,
It's just and like oh god, Mercury going into Aries is going to be a lot of that too. It's another self-centric placement
right.
like but it's
Although,
more volatile.
yeah,
They care a lot about other people, but you already have to be in their good graces. And then
yeah,
they're
that
still going to just
that's
say
exactly
shit.
it. That's exactly it.
Yeah,
I think it's especially poignant at this time because it goes against a Piscean nature to be so
absolutely.
inconsiderate.
Absolutely.
Like
And
say what,
disrespectful. Truly, this week people
yeah.
were disrespectful, and I have a problem with it. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about it because I'm upset. Again, me saying, I'm
Just
not mad about
making
it
your
anymore. Me getting madder and madder and madder.
just making yourself upset.
Yeah.
And like I mean people will say what they want about Pisces, but truly like this kind of aggression is not their nature. So
Right, right.
I think it's been because like we're being made quite sensitive to it,
Mm hmm.
and then these other placements are kind of making us act, you know, probably in a more inconsiderate way or
Yes.
in a more impulsive way.
Uh huh. Right.
Um, and that impulsivity will definitely increase with Aries, with these Aries. I mean, the Sun and Mercury are moving into Aries, so
Right.
that'll be a time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to see, and the new moon as well. All of that's just happening at the same time, so that'll be great.
Yeah.
I just think if we, because the thing is, it can be so good if you want to stay in your lane, if you want to get your shit done, if you want to manifest some things, if you want to like open some doors,
Mm
like this energy is for that. It is not
hmm.
meant for going after people right now. You
Right.
know?
Right. And we actually haven't even gotten into the astrology segment. We're just dipping our toes in
Yeah.
right now.
But like, I mean, if we want to transition to it, we can because I just think this
Oh
transitions
god.
well into like what Aries season is going to be
For sure.
um
And Mercury is entering Aries tomorrow, the
tomorrow.
18th. Like
Yeah,
we're
Saturday.
moving into the thick of it already.
Yeah.
So,
We're probably
yeah,
going to start feeling it as we
exactly.
talk.
Yeah. So let's move on to the astrology. All right, Sam, what's coming up astrologically this
Yeah.
week?
So, I mean,
The
like we
next 2
said,
weeks. This is a 2 week forecast,
oh
actually.
yeah. I mean, most of the big transits are happening next week. So, like we said, we're recording this on the 17th.
Mm-hmm.
But once this is released, the Saturday before, Saturday the 18th of March, Mercury enters Aries. It's technically like Saturday or Sunday, depending on your time zone.
Right.
Um, and like we said, that is sort of ruling our communication with people.
Mm-hmm.
Aries, to me, I mean, I love the thing is that I really love Aries placements.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think, especially compared to a lot of my placements, they're quite bold. They're very assertive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they can be very overprotective at times.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
A little impulsive. a little maybe not thinking too far ahead into the future,
Mm-hmm.
but kind of like what I want right now. This is what I
Yeah.
want right now, and this is what I'm going to
Right.
do to get it. Maybe not thinking about the consequences as much, because Aries is like the baby of the zodiac, so you can imagine like how impulsively a baby will just like put shit in their mouth and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like, I want this in my mouth. This is it.
Toddlers throwing tantrums. Like,
Oh, yes, very
that's
much
where we're
that.
at.
And even Taurus is like a toddler,
Right.
like I need my comforts
Yeah.
right now. So these planets being in Aries and Taurus, it's to me it's very good to be in that childlike space to get what you
Mm-hmm.
want, like
Mm-hmm.
manifesting. But it can be difficult for relationships because, we're not emotionally mature at those ages yet.
Right.
We're very
Exactly.
focused on ourselves, like what we've been saying. So I think the key is focus on yourself.
Yep.
Worry about your stuff.
Don't talk to anybody else, but if you're going to talk to them, just try to be nice, okay? Everybody's
Yeah.
upset right now. Try to
It,
be nice.
yeah. You can't
Good
take other
Lord, try to be
people's shit
nice.
personally right now.
Yeah.
They're trying to focus on their shit, and we're just like interfering with each other, staying in
Exactly.
our own lanes.
Exactly.
So that's happening. I don't know. Do you have anything else for Mercury and entering Aries? I think it'll be. I don't know. Is Mercury in Pisces right now? I think it'll be
Mm-hmm.
better for the speed of communication.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly,
I
like,
think it's a more action oriented placement. Okay.
yeah,
Like it's not necessarily it's still not going to be easy to get things done because thinking about how to get from point A to point C, think figuring out that point B might be hard, but like your goal is point C, let's
yeah,
say, right? Like
yeah.
it'll be harder to think about, okay, what's the stepwise action plan to get there? But I don't know, it's just like God, yeah, it's a little more action minded, a little more forward,
It's like
a little
we'll
more
get to point C somehow. I
yeah,
mean,
and
it's
it
happening.
is definitely about instant gratification for
Yeah.
sure. Like
Oh yeah.
you're gonna want instant gratification. It's not gonna come and it's gonna make you frustrated.
Right.
So being patient, trying to be patient as best you can, which this placement does not promote.
Right.
So
Yeah.
um
Just be
just trying to be
aware
patient.
if
Yeah.
being, and I mean, there's other placements we'll get into that is gonna also aggravate that, like, kind of notion of
Yes.
impatience.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. But Mercury being in Pisces, and with all of these like emotional things happening while we're interacting with people, we're probably harboring a lot of resentment.
Mm-hmm.
So Aries can be a time to really lay out your frustrations with people. It just might not go quite so well because it's
Yep.
not going to be said in the right way. It's not going to be in the right tone for
Mm-hmm.
certain. It's going to be
Mm-hmm.
in a terrible tone, and they're
Right.
going to take it personally. So I would probably think twice or three times before doing it if you're
Yes.
gonna do it. If it's
Yes.
bringing you the courage to stand up for yourself or stand up for someone else
Mm-hmm.
that you don't normally have, if you're not a confrontational person
Mm-hmm.
normally, it can be beneficial for you. But
Yes.
again, I would be wary that there could be consequences, like a lot
Right.
of consequences to
Absolutely.
doing that. If you can say that the benefits outweigh that, I would, go with it. But
Yep.
I don't know. I'm gonna stay in my room. um,
Yeah, I'm
and
not interested in the confrontation.
thankfully, it's only until April 3rd. Then it'll go into Taurus.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which I mean, it'll be. I think Mercury and Taurus will help us like not want to yell at each other so much. We'll be like, all
Right.
right, let me try to get my bag. Actually,
Yes. Get my
um,
bag. Hermit days. Not talking to
yeah,
anyone. But well,
we can
that's
hope.
we'll
We
talk
can
about
hope.
that
Yeah,
later.
yeah. Once we
Like,
once we get there.
yeah, we're a little
Um,
far out, unfortunately.
and then
Yeah.
the Sun enters Aries on the 20th.
Oh my god,
Um,
already?
I know Pisces season is over.
Ugh. I'm upset, dude.
So is that Monday? Is that when this is released? Yeah, the 20th.
Yes.
So
Oh my
wow,
god.
this
I cannot
episode
believe
comes
that.
out on the first day of Aries season. Wow.
Help. Lord
Pisces
help
season just
us.
flew by.
It really did. I felt like it started and I was like, yes. And then it was over.
It's over already.
It's
Yeah.
over.
It's gone by really fast. For better or for worse, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
I God, I can't believe it's already Aries season.
I know.
I just can't believe it's already Aries
It's
season. That's
time to
it.
get up and
That's
do
all I
the
have.
shit. It's time to do it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's time to do it. Whatever it is that you've been hesitating to do, I know we talked about when we were talking about Pisces season, is that it might be a good time for dreaming, planning, really
Mm-hmm.
visualizing what you want. And Aries season is the time to, put actions into motion.
Yeah.
Um, so, like I said, if you just focus on you, if you stay in your lane, it'll go great. It can go
Yep.
great for you.
Yep.
We need to like I don't know, take some deep breaths. I will recommend some meditation as someone who loves meditation. If
Great.
that is not for you, find any calming activity you can that you already gravitate to and
Mm-hmm.
make sure to schedule it quite frequently during your week.
Yes.
Especially if you like work with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. It
You
could
you
be
have to interact with people.
exercise. It could
Oh
be
yeah,
reading
maybe
a book.
exercise.
It
That can
could
be a really good
be,
way to get out that energy for sure.
yes, something.
So,
Don't,
something, please.
just don't, just, God, keep your head down, okay?
Yeah, just calm down. I'm
Yeah.
scared.
See, and the thing is, I like Aries season too. I think it's fun. Usually, like you can have like obviously spring is coming for a lot of us. Sorry if you're in the
Exactly.
southern hemisphere.
Uh,
Spring is coming in the northern hemisphere. You know, it's finally getting warmer. It's brighter longer, even though daylight
yeah,
savings time sucks ass. Like it's just such. This is a good time of year, but it is very hard to keep your cool
right.
also.
Well, what I will
um
say is that like I've had a diagnosis of seasonal affective disorder.
mhm,
And I think it's important because I think we focus usually on like the winter depression.
right.
But there is also like an anxiety that comes with the coming of spring
Yes, definitely.
that I don't think is focused on a lot. And it felt so validating to learn that
Right.
because I was like, yeah. And I mean, this was probably before I was super into astrology, but it lines up so well with like the timing of the year because Aries season
Yes.
is where it's like, all right, light your ass on fire, literally,
Right.
charged fire.
Put some gas in your ass.
Right.
That. You've been
Yeah,
stagnant all winter. Time to go.
exactly. So
Like,
it can be a little overwhelming.
yes,
And
definitely.
like I mean, I've already been having trouble sleeping.
Mhm.
So it's really about being mindful about having some moments in the day where you are taking some deep breaths and resting.
Mhm.
Because it might be harder to do that these days with your ass being lit on fire.
Right.
So yeah, I think be mindful of that. If you're feeling like quite anxious during these times, just like
Mhm.
find some techniques that work for you. Even like I forgot what it's called, but like the tapping that people do for anxiety. There's like certain points on the body. I'll look it up and put it in the
Right.
description so that it's a little less random because I don't know if
Mhm.
people know what I'm talking about, but I find that
Mhm.
that helps for me a lot.
Mhm.
Whatever it is that you can do, take some
Yeah.
time, some moments.
Yes.
Um,
The energized air of Aries season is definitely teeters on the edge of anxiety overload all the time.
yeah,
So definitely being mindful of that, I think
for sure.
will be important, like you said. So taking
And
care of
I
your little
think
brains.
the way that I've heard it described, because we're going from immutable water
Mm-hmm.
to a cardinal fire, right?
Yes.
And so if you think of that transition, it's almost like very steamy, not in
Right.
like a sexy way, but
No.
more like a delusional way.
Yes.
um, so it's kind of like wait for that steam to settle before you act.
Yeah,
As much as
absolutely.
possible. You're going to have this like impulsivity to act or to say the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But know that you might need to take a second, think about it again before you actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that energy will be supported. So I think it can be really great, as long as we kind of like keep our heads a little in check. Okay.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
that'll be good. I
Um,
don't know.
the other thing, so many big things happening next
Mm-hmm.
week. Thankfully, after these things is a little chill into the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of April.
Mm-hmm.
But on the 23rd, we have Pluto entering Aquarius. Probably the biggest transit this year.
Yep.
We
The
made a big
biggest
deal.
transit of the
2023.
next
Yeah.
few years.
Oh, few? Talk about 19.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we talked about Saturn transiting into Pisces. That's also a
Mm-hmm.
huge deal.
Right.
But Pluto will do a similar thing to Saturn where it will retrograde back. So, this is a bit of a taste
Mm-hmm.
of Pluto moving into Aquarius.
Mm-hmm.
Until I think June, it will retrograde
Mm-hmm.
until next January. And then it will
And
be
then
there
it'll
for 19 years.
yes.
Okay?
So, and the biggest thing about Pluto transits is that they don't happen often, right? And
Right.
then also this one moving into Aquarius, this is what's called an age of Aquarius. And Sam was talking about this before we started recording, and I remembered this knowledge, ripped it from my brain.
Mm.
But the last time Pluto was in
Oh,
Aquarius
yeah.
was, what did you say, from 1778
To 98 ish.
to 98-ish. And that was the time of the American Revolution, the French Revolution,
Yeah.
lots of other revolutions
No
around
big
the
deal.
world, literally everyone. And then before that, it was the Protestant Revolution
Yeah, in the 1500s.
in the 1500s. So this is a
So.
huge transit with lots of global implications
Oh, yeah.
historically. There's
Yeah.
historical evidence for this. So prepare to get our shit rocked, you know?
Yeah. Um, I I will say it like this is that if we want to think of Capricorn being in charge of like authoritarian structures and our
Mm-hmm.
governments,
Right.
and that's where Pluto has been spending its time for the past 20 years or so.
Yes.
So we've seen many changes. Many changes is an understatement in
Mm-hmm.
our governmental structures. I think there's been a lot of distrust in those structures, and not just government, even like academia, even
Mm-hmm.
in capitalism.
Yes.
Think of these like big overarching structures of society.
Mm-hmm.
And Pluto entering Aquarius, which is also true in these other historical eras that we've just discussed, is like the people's reaction to it. So it's these
Mm-hmm.
revolutions, it's these like revolts and reformations.
Right.
Um, so very casual and cool, very cash money. It's not gonna be chaotic at all.
No, no way, no way, no way.
But I mean, you have to think about it. It's gonna be 20 years or so
Right.
of this change.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like 1778 to 1798, I'm sure the people that were in it were just in it, and
Right.
now we think of that as a historical era of
Mm-hmm.
revolutions.
Right.
So just imagine what that's going to mean for us.
Ugh,
And
I'm
also
exhausted already.
Aquarius also rules technology.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously this is the most advanced era of technology ever.
And
So,
do you know what's interesting?
mm.
War prompts the most change in technology.
Ooh.
Sorry. Oops.
Historian buff over here. Oh my god. So that's really cute.
Casual.
Yeah. I
Casual.
mean, if you've really kept up with world politics at all, I'm sure this doesn't surprise you.
Absolutely.
So,
Right.
um I mean, the type of warfare is going to be quite different from like what we've read in history books, I
We're gonna
think.
hope for not warfare, but we're
I
not
mean,
counting on that.
you can argue like even things about like oil prices or just
Right.
you know
Right.
trade and things like that is kind of
Mm-hmm.
our version of territorial. I don't know how to really put it. But these
Mhm.
global political things that have been happening,
Mhm.
I mean, a lot of people argue that we are kind of in the quote unquote World War III. It's just like we
Mhm.
don't see it in the same way as we did in the previous ones in history, at least.
Mhm.
So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting time. It's going to be an interesting time for technology. I think I mentioned this before, but even though we think that social media has already been a wild ride, I think it's going to
Right.
go through even more transformational change.
Mhm.
Um, I what I've been reading from other astrologers is that they think that the way like algorithms work is going to change.
Yes.
That like social media content will start turning more community based. I'm sure
Mhm.
social media will be a big part of these revolutions that will take place,
Absolutely.
as it's been for quite a while.
Mhm.
Like I'm thinking especially of like the Arab Springs, where a lot of those started
Yes.
on Twitter, right?
Right, right.
A lot of those protests were organized on Twitter, is what I mean. So
Mhm.
I can see a lot of that happening. I mean, it's just going to be an unprecedented time, so it's hard to predict really
Right,
what's going to
exactly.
happen, but these are some themes that I am at least interpreting through this
Mhm.
transit.
Right.
Um
We're
so I
just
would
getting a little tiny taste of that. Haha.
for yeah, we're going to see what's going to happen from now until June, and that will kind of give us a taste for the next 20 years.
Yep.
And I mean, I don't know about you, like we're talking about Saturn and Pluto, which are very slow moving planets.
Mhm.
And like you and I are kind of getting our taste of the Saturn return,
Yes.
and it doesn't feel very harsh or very like overpowering. It's a
Right. No,
very
it really doesn't.
slow, like, yeah, you there these are some serious things you need to work on in your life.
Mhm.
Um and I expect Pluto to be similar, where it's going to be like these are some global structures that really need to be torn down essentially.
You're right. This needs
Um
dismantling.
yeah, and I'm sure we're going to see community leaders rise up to kind of lead us to do that.
Yes.
Um it's going to happen in a as natural of a way as possible.
Mhm.
I mean, if you study any like civilization, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like a collapse of a
Mm.
civilization. That sounds dramatic.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to make people freak out, but any collapse, like quote unquote collapse of a civilization, happened over decades,
Right,
right?
exactly. It's not
So
an overnight thing.
yeah, and like we're already seeing it with like things about the economy and how people are very much transitioning their relationship with the workforce.
Yes.
So it's already happening. You know, we've
Right,
been in the
right.
shadow period for Pluto for a long time, so
Mhm.
it's no surprise that this is going to happen. Um, so that's kind of be like going to be like the global theme of what's
Yes.
going on. Pluto is extremely global. I'm interested to see the generation of kids born during this time too,
Mhm.
and how they'll be with their Pluto being in Aquarius. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have anything else for that. It's kind of a big one. It's very abstract to me. So
Mhm.
um and then the last one, which we might have a lot to say about this one, is
Oh
Mars
lord.
entering Cancer.
Mhm.
Oh,
Mars entering Cancer.
on the 25th, so many things. So many things. Basically, a lot of what we were saying before about kind of keeping to yourself as much as possible for these Aries transits.
Yes.
Mars and Aquarius. I mean, for me, I quite liked Mars and Gemini. Maybe that's because of our Gemini rising that we share.
Yeah.
Gave me like a lot of ideas of stuff that I wanted to do.
Yes.
Mars was in Gemini for the past like 7 months or something like that, which
Right.
is kind of a long time for Mars. Um, but I'm sure a lot of people felt a little overwhelmed by like indecisiveness.
Mhm.
Um, and Mars entering Cancer is, from what I've read, is that we will have a very much more intuitive idea of what to do, but Cancer
Mhm.
is not super active. Mars, I'm
Yes.
pretty sure, is debilitated in Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Best guess anyway. Actually,
I think so.
my Vedic placement is a Mars in Cancer, and that has been pointed out to me as one of the most, you know, unharmonious
Mm-hmm.
placements.
Yeah.
You can experience a lot of like doubt,
Yes.
and a lot of like, emotion around your goals. Something I was
Mm-hmm.
mentioning before is that, especially if you are the type of person, like what I was mentioning about my week, to really put on a game face for work
Yes.
and kind of like pushing your emotions aside just to get work done.
Right.
I think a lot of us have been ingrained to do that. It might
Mm-hmm.
be a little difficult to do that. I think our work might be affected a little more by our emotions.
Yes.
So really managing that, managing your personal relationships with your family so that it doesn't affect your work and your
Mm-hmm.
goals. And also being a little more flexible with your goals and not being so high strung about them.
Yes.
Like just know, listen to like your intuition about how things will go and what you should do, and try to be a little gentle with yourself because Mars in Cancer is a little more gentle.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of what's been going on, or what's about to happen, I guess, next
Right.
week
Right.
in the sky.
Yeah. I talked a lot about Mars and Cancer today on the segment of my friend's stream.
Hmm.
And it's an interesting personal placement to have, right?
Oh yeah.
It's very nuanced. In terms of it being like the current astrological placement, it's a little difficult to manage if
Yeah.
you are not used to that feeling of your work being emotional.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I do feel like it's a good time to create art or find something that allows you to express your emotion, like
Hmm.
finding how to channel that through your work, whether it's a personal project or figuring out
Hmm.
how to manage your emotions while at work.
Hmm. Or definitely like service oriented
Yes,
work.
definitely.
Not necessarily like, I'm not talking about like retail or like service jobs.
Service industry, but
Yeah, but like volunteering, or if you're trying to do stuff for the community, or
yeah.
um maybe help your family in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it can be really good for that. But
Yes.
again, those things are quite emotional. It's quite emotional to do that kind of work.
Mm-hmm.
So quite different from like a very logistical kind of job.
Right, right, absolutely. So I think you're right. Like being gentle with yourself will be important and just
Hmm.
taking your time working through what you're feeling and why might be pertinent here.
Definitely.
Versus like acting on emotion and being upset about work
Whew.
things that you aren't usually upset about, but have really like gotten you all riled up.
Yeah,
um, yeah. And finding a personal project like volunteering that makes you feel good and makes you feel like you're helping somebody or
definitely.
something like that could be a good outlet for this kind of more emotional, outwardly focused people, people, I don't know, helping people mindset that we're going to
Yeah,
be in for a little while.
definitely. Yeah, the planets are in some emotional signs right
They
now.
are. And it's so interesting. It's not all like, I can handle this emotional either. It's like, I've never having a hard time handling these emotions kind of
Right.
emotional
Yeah,
placements.
it'll be like an overwhelming uh, emotional time.
Yes.
Um, so definitely check in with yourself. Have a friend who can point out when you're being a little, when you need a
Mm-hmm.
little Twix, when you need to chill out a bit.
Yep.
If you're being a little aggressive, someone who can kind of talk you down,
Yes.
that can be so valuable right now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You
For
need to
sure.
tell me if I'm being an asshole.
I will. You can also tell me. I'm kind of always an asshole, but you can tell me if I'm
Yeah, I
really
mean,
being an
we're
asshole.
both like baseline asshole, but like if
Yeah.
it's getting too to be too much,
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll let each other know.
I think so. Was that it for
Yeah,
the
I think that's
skies?
all I got.
Oh my god, it's already a lot. This is again over about a 2 week period from the 18th. No, that's just 1 week, isn't it? The
I mean,
18th
yeah,
to the
those are the
25th is just within a week.
that's like the major stuff that's happening.
Mm-hmm. The
Um,
week after through to the 31st is gonna be hopefully more.
I think it's a little more chill.
Oh, slightly. There aren't any huge like transitions happening. It's just some, what are
Some
they called?
trines, some conjunctions. I think
Mm-hmm.
the following week will be a good time to write down some manifestations.
Mm-hmm.
For
Make a game
sure.
plan.
Yeah, make some game plans. Write things down that you
Mm-hmm.
want. Just write it all out. And
Yeah.
then when you visit it a few months later, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
like a year later, you'll be like, oh my god, like 5 out of the 7 things I wrote happened.
Yeah,
It's wild
absolutely.
sometimes. It really works. I mean, it trains your brain to have like it kind of like seals it in, and then you
Right.
just like subconsciously start working through that. I totally believe in that stuff, so it worked
Right.
for me.
It's so
I've
interesting how that
manifested
happens.
hella things
You
just
have.
from
You're very
writing it
good at
down.
it.
I try. This is a Pisces life.
All right. Are you ready to talk about what we've been listening to this week?
Yes. Oh my god, so
You go
much good
first.
music.
So much good music. So
Well,
much good music.
I'm holding in my excitement
Mm-hmm.
cuz obviously probably the biggest thing
Mm-hmm.
that happened ever
Ever.
is Kai finally releasing his album. But
Yes.
we're going to do a full review.
We're doing a full album review. It will be a Spotify exclusive. I'm so sorry. It's the only way we can play the songs for you and then scream about them. Okay.
Yeah. But just know that it's fucking amazing.
It's really good.
And
We're
watch the
pumped.
music video.
Yes, please watch Rover. It's a
So
great
good.
video. The concept is
Fantastic.
so fun. We're going to talk
Fantastic.
about it in the episode though.
Yes.
Love it. This
Also,
week was actually sorry. This week was actually like like end capped with amazing releases for us.
yeah. Okay, everyone's releasing music or working on music and like
Hmm.
announcing that they are. And I was
Hmm.
like, "Oh, casual Pisces season
Yeah.
music, emotional
Yes.
music. Wow, couldn't believe it."
I'm ready.
Um exciting. What else? Oh, Mac Ayers released his album today.
Thank God.
Today.
I didn't think it was gonna be an album. I thought it was gonna be another single because he just did a single like 3 weeks
Yeah.
ago,
And then he was like, "Oh, by the way, it's an album." I'm like,
and here it
"What?"
is.
Like, I'm pretty sure when we talked to him, we're like, "Oh, I bet an album's coming this summer."
Yeah, because
He's like,
everybody
"No,
plays such a
bitch.
long game with album releases. I was not expecting it to be now.
A full thing, a full
Yeah.
album. It's not even like a little EP. It's like
No,
full,
it is
and it
16
is
songs.
so good.
It's beautiful.
No
It's
skips.
beautiful. Not a single one.
I want to cry. It's
It's
so good.
so good.
I really need to like immerse and listen to
Hmm.
it. I haven't been able to today yet.
Yeah, I got through about half of it today before the pod, but like I know the second half of this album is going to be amazing as well. I don't have any doubt in Mac Ayer's ability to make music that makes me feel things.
Absolutely.
Um, but my
This.
favorite part of this album,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
my favorite part of this album is that the titles of the songs make like a little poem, like a
Yes.
handful of phrases.
I know, it's so nice.
Living's too much giving. Something's got to change. I can't go on pretending to be comfortable enough. It's not me versus myself anymore. If you're feeling lost, I'll be your home now and we'll feel better again. Cuts heal in time. Everything changes, and that's all right. Oh,
So good.
what?
I know.
Like it hurts. The album
I
is called
know.
Comfortable Enough. Let's be clear. The album is called Comfortable Enough.
It feels
It's
and like
beautiful.
it's not that his other music wasn't already very emotional,
Correct.
but this feels like very deeply emotional and vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you saw his clip after he released again, like when he released the
I
single.
did when he was talking about how like he felt so disconnected from the
Music.
music he wanted to create.
Right.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
mean, you could tell that he was like struggling to
yeah.
find the words to describe what he
Exactly.
was going through.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I was surprised that he still put that video out, to be honest, because it
Yeah.
wasn't like very clean cut and rehearsed. It was very
Right.
like I wasn't expecting to get this reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very validating because I was really going through it, and
Mm-hmm.
this is the music that kind of came out of that.
Right.
And it almost like that nervousness to reveal the project,
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just like, it's such a, I don't know, it's such an indication of like a
Mm-hmm.
true artist.
Absolutely. He hasn't released music in, I think, over a year. It really hasn't been that long in terms of
Yeah.
music, but he hasn't released music in a while, but also hasn't really been interacting on social media or like
Right.
in the limelight, let's say,
Definitely.
in a while. So I think part of it was him feeling nervous that um he was coming back to that and like telling people about what he's been creating, because
Right.
I feel like it's highly personal for him at
Oh
this
yeah.
point. I mean,
Yeah.
always, but like this album especially is probably particularly personal.
And I mean, like, I know a lot of artists have talked about it, like, when they do take kind of a hiatus, there's
Hmm.
always a fear of, like, is there anyone else who's gonna listen? Like, are you guys just, like,
Right.
moving on to listen to other stuff?
Exactly. Are you
Um,
still waiting for me? Are you still there?
yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah, I don't know. I really, I felt him. I felt him
Hmm.
when he did that, and
Hmm.
I don't know. He's just so talented,
He really
and
is.
I'm not sure of my favorite tracks yet, but so far, what is it? Me versus myself and
Yes.
anymore. Like both of
Yes.
those were like really nice.
Extremely
Is it
good.
bossa nova? I don't know. I don't know genres of music, but the one that's like dun 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 dun
Yeah,
dun
I
dun
feel like
dun.
that's right.
Yeah,
Oh,
a bossa nova
hard to say.
style beat, but it's like a
Hmm.
very, I don't know, but it's not a very happy song.
No,
A lot of these songs are very
they're a little
emotionally
heavy.
deep and
They
yeah,
are.
kind of heavy.
Comfortable
Um,
enough was like, whoa.
yeah, yeah.
I really like it. I really like this album so far. I got about halfway through. I'm on anymore, and I've listened to most of the song
Mm,
where I paused it. Um, it's just so good. It's so beautiful. It's very emotional, and it
yeah,
makes me feel things and makes me feel happy and sad, like profoundly
and
sad.
sad. Yeah, a
But in
very
like the best
Pisces
way. Yeah.
album.
The way
Love
the
it.
music is cathartic, not like it's sad for the sake of being sad. It's sad because it tells a story of what he's been going through, what we've all been going through,
Right.
more or
Yeah,
less,
definitely.
It's really beautiful. I highly recommend.
Yeah, for sure. I think it can help a lot with the emotions we've been talking about
Mhm.
for, these transits going on. Yeah, just a beautiful album, and I can't wait to explore it more. We've only had a day. I haven't had enough time to really process it yet. But
Mhm.
I know it's
Yeah.
good, and it's good. I mean, I have enough faith to recommend it.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
listen to it.
I have faith in Mac's artistry, period.
I don't even have to listen to it, and I'll be like, this was good.
Exactly. I know this is an excellent album, start to
Yeah.
finish, because all of his albums are good.
Yeah.
um,
Facts.
yeah, I really think he's absolutely, without a doubt, one of my favorite artists
Mm-hmm.
of all time at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, I
he's
think I
younger than
agree.
us.
Oh, he's so young. It's
He's
bizarre.
extremely young, so I can only imagine what he's going to continue to create, like
Yeah,
how he's going
yeah.
to shape my fucking life. Ridiculous.
True.
Absolutely
He
absurd.
has a long career ahead, I think.
He
As
really
long
does.
I mean, it seems like he has good people around him.
Mhm.
Um, like he has good artists around him, and
Yeah.
I mean, puts a lot of effort into his work, and he's
Mhm.
been through kind of this rough time quite early on, and it seems like he's learned a lot. So as long as, I mean, I think fame is probably so difficult. Even like,
Right.
he's not like a huge artist, like a pop artist, but even some semblance of limelight is
Right.
probably very stressful, especially when you're young in your 20s. So I think, I hope it goes well for him. I hope he explodes, like I hope he blows
I hope
up.
so too.
But
I
yeah.
want him to. I mean, he deserves it. I say I want him to. I like don't at the same time. You know
Yeah,
how
it's
you want to
always
keep
that.
small
Yes.
artists
It's
to
always like, oh, I
yourself.
want to keep this to myself.
But he deserves all of the success.
Definitely.
Truly, uh he makes such beautiful music that
Mm.
means something and feels real, and I feel like it's something that I've been missing in a lot of modern music, but
Oh,
he's
definitely.
great. Truly, he speaks to me personally, of course.
Yes.
I
We
love
might have to do
I
an
love
album review. It's
We might have to. That might be a project for later though, when we
yeah,
both have time
it'll
to
take
listen on
some
our
time.
own,
I mean,
formulate opinions.
yeah, definitely. These are some songs to dissect for sure.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, what else do I have? I listen to, you know how like sometimes you discover a song on Spotify, like in one of your discovery playlists or whatever,
Mhm.
and you're like, this hits so hard, I have to check out this artist.
Yes.
So I've had one of those songs for a long time, and I hadn't looked at the discography until now.
Mhm.
So the artist is called Yashua, and
Mhm.
he's a Dominican American.
Cute.
So his songs are kind of like a mix of Spanish and English, and a
Mhm.
little mix of reggaeton and kind of like synthy pop, I
Right.
guess. Very nice. I've had his single called Te Vas, which is from like
Mhm.
2021 ish. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure like 2021. He hasn't made new music in a couple years,
Mhm.
but I'm hoping just talking about him will manifest that he drops something soon.
Mhm.
So I decided to check out his one of his albums from 2020 called 777 or 777. And it is such a vibe. And I know we talked about Kai, but like his single is like a reggaeton inspired beat.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, ooh, this is what I need for the
Yeah.
spring and summertime.
Right.
And so this album is very much that, but it's kind of low key. It's not like a really high intensity reggaeton,
Mhm.
but a little more vibey.
Mhm.
So I've been enjoying that a lot.
I love that.
So yeah, that's been one thing. And then finally, the last thing, I'm a little late on this, but there's a K-pop question mark group called XG.
Mhm.
I say that because they are being trained, or they were trained and are promoting in a traditional K-pop way.
Mhm.
But I'm pretty sure most of the members aren't Korean, or I think there's some who are like mixed
Mhm.
Japanese Korean.
Mhm.
And so far their songs have been in English.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
it's a little different from like the typical K-pop group, but they are on like the same promotional music shows and stuff like that.
Right.
But their song Left Right is from last month, but it's kind of
Mhm.
starting to go viral.
Mhm.
And so I finally checked out the music video, and it is so cute. It's like a Y2K concept, but like done so well, and it's like super super cute, such a vibe. The song is so good. I think they're really talented. I hope they blow up a little more, and they're
Mhm.
kind of going viral for the song. Um, but I don't know how much support they're getting in Korea yet. That's always
Mm.
like such an interesting thing. I know I
Yeah.
talked about Twice last week.
Yes. Mhm.
People are saying people are saying that song is quote unquote flopping in Korea, even
Oh.
though they're being huge. They're like huge on the international scale.
Mhm.
But I think Koreans are kind of like, oh, we want Twice to do their brighter bubblegum pop songs again. It's like
Right.
these women are like 30,
Yeah. They're a
getting close
little
to it.
old
Um,
for that.
yeah, like their
I mean, you're never too
sound
old for
has to,
bubblegum pop, but
no,
they want to
absolutely not.
make different stuff,
And the thing is, they
sometimes.
still do that like feminine vibe of
Mhm.
music, but they
Mhm.
had something a little more strong, which I really loved.
Right.
But it's not always the vibe, and I think it takes some time to adjust to like a change in sound if they've been doing the same thing a lot
Yeah.
regarding K-pop groups.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it's just like it's almost unpredictable what will be a hit in Korea.
Mhm.
Interestingly enough, it kind of has to a group has to blow up, and then they have an established enough fan base, which I
Yeah.
thought was the case with Twice.
Right.
So it's a little interesting.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I'm hoping for XG. I mean, girl groups have such a harder time in Korea in general. They're like so much more at the whims of the opinions of
Right.
the Korean public more than men. I mean, that's kind of global, I guess.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm just hoping they do well. And yeah, they're kind of like such a nice juxtaposition to New Jeans, because New Jeans is
Mm.
also doing that like retro vibe, but it's very soft,
Mhm.
whereas XG is kind of more powerful, a little more empowered.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's just nice to see, and their music video is what I will link in the description. It's super cute.
Amazing.
But yeah, that's all I got. What about you?
My last little tidbit, because we have a lot of the same things this week between Mac and
Yeah.
Kai. My last little thing is one of my friends is very, very into Hozier. And I like Hozier for sure. His first
Mm.
album is one of my favorite albums of all time, but I wasn't really into like his later works, which I guess is
Mm-hmm.
controversial or something. But I didn't really like, what is it, Wasteland Baby maybe. I didn't really like that one, but I he just released an EP today,
Uh-huh.
the 17th, and I
Wow.
really really liked it. It's only 3 songs, but they are all very good, and I feel like this he's releasing an album in the summer, just an EP for right now. But I really feel like I'm going to connect more with this album like I did with his first one, and because it feels more like that rather than Wasteland Baby, which is not a bad album at all. It's actually quite good. It just
Mm.
is not my personal favorite
Right, right,
Hozier
right.
album. Wasn't quite to my taste, which is fine. But I really enjoyed the EP. It's very good, kind of cute. Like, I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. So
Like
I'm
spring
actually,
vibes?
yeah, it definitely feels like spring vibes. I'm looking forward to hearing the album this summer. I think I will like actually make a
Everyone's
concerted
dropping
effort to go
music.
listen to
That's
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I was really pleased with it.
I think I'll
So,
look out for that too, because I had never gotten into Hozier myself.
mhm.
But yeah, I
Yeah,
think I'll check it out.
I was pleased with the EP, and it's
But
just
yeah,
like an easy 3 songs with so much music coming out. I was grateful that Kai's mini album is only 6 songs. Like
yeah,
that
I would
was
have been
great.
overwhelmed if it was a
Right.
full.
Right. So that was great that that was only 6. Mac's album is like very long, so me only getting through half of it is probably all I'm going to get through for the next couple of days. Um and then like maybe tomorrow I'll listen to the other half, but I won't be able to sit and just listen to it for a while
Right.
because it's a full uninterrupted hour of music, which is not really that long. I just don't have the capacity to sit and
I
do that.
love laying for
Um
an hour doing
I
nothing.
know. Maybe when I'm on the airplane next week,
Oh
I'll
yeah, that would
take
be
one
good
of my
time.
hours to listen to the album.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just felt like the EP was perfect. It's really pleasant, um, very nice, great work, and I'm actually looking forward to his album. So
Cute.
I do recommend checking it out.
There's so
I mean,
much.
of course, Hozier's hugely famous. You don't need the recommendation from me
Fair
to
enough. Yeah, that's
hear
true.
it, but like for people
No,
who
but I mean,
care, I did really
yeah.
like it.
I mean, I'll go. I trust your music taste. I think that's like a good indicator for me to check it out.
Yeah,
Personally,
right.
a lot of people are dropping music. I think even Taylor
Yes.
Swift dropped some songs.
I
Not my
think
vibe, but I heard that was the
so.
case.
Or
Chloe,
something.
or
Chloe's
sorry,
album comes
Hallie.
out soon.
Chloe. Oh yeah, you're right. Chloe's album does come out soon. Hallie is working on music,
Yes.
and Kyungsu's working on music. Um,
Oh my god,
I'm
that video you sent me of Hallie in the studio playing the
oh
guitar and then like
so
a
good.
teaser of this whatever song that was. I was like, you better release
Yeah, the
this one.
comments were
Don't keep that in the
hilarious.
vault, bitch.
The
Give
comments
it
were
to me.
hilarious.
Oh
They're
my
like, "We
god.
need you to drop this right now."
I know. She just fucking finished Little Mermaid promo. Let her chill. I think they might
Yeah.
even still be promoing. Like, come on. The full
Yeah.
trailer
Let me
just
just
released. Give her a
casually write
minute.
a song. It's fine.
Lord. I
The
know she, like,
talent.
obviously she's working on an album, but it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I
Like, a
know, I
little bit
can't wait.
haunting. The guitar she was playing, I was like, I need this
I
album.
remember a long time ago when we were just getting into Chloe and Hallie, I was like, I feel like I'm looking more forward to Hallie's solo stuff.
Yeah, and that's just proven to be more and more true. Like, Chloe is gorgeous, stunning,
And talented. Super
extremely
talented.
talented, but her music is like not hitting for me like I want it to.
I know. And it's so weird. I forgot which song it is. I think it's Through the Night or something,
Mm.
that she had released like a teaser of it a long time ago, or like a
Mm-hmm.
snippet of it while she was working on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounded so amazing, but then when it came to like the final cut of it, like the production was not what I was expecting. And then she had
Right.
like Lotto featuring on it,
Uh
which
huh.
is kind of like, okay, this isn't whatever. It's not my
Mhm.
style anyway.
Right.
I don't think it suited the song either. So
Yeah, and she just had this release of How Does It Feel with Chris Brown, and I'm
yeah,
just like
I
really
didn't even
tired of
listen
people
to
working
it.
with Chris
I
Brown. I didn't either.
did not even
I'm
listen
really
to it.
fucking tired of people working with him. He should not be working
And
still.
it's so
He's an
weird.
abuser,
It's so
and I'm
weird.
not into it.
Her audience, I mean, I don't know. Most of the people in her comments were saying that they were not happy with that. So it's
Mhm.
kind of bizarre that you don't know your audience enough
Yep.
to kind of gauge that. I don't know. I don't know how aware artists are about stuff like this, but I feel like
I
I would
know.
want to
She
be.
has to know, you know?
Yeah, or your
There's no way
PR
she
team
doesn't.
has to be a little better.
Yeah,
Like why
exactly.
isn't and people weren't into the lotto thing either. Like why isn't your PR team looking at like the audience and like what they listen to? Like I think
Yep.
SZA would have been a good.
SZA would have been a great feature. Maybe if SZA's on the album. I don't know. But I'm
I
like
don't
not looking
know.
forward to listening
Or
to
like a
it.
Lion Babe.
Yeah. Oh, Lion Babe would be fucking cool with Chloe, but
Exactly.
whatever. I
Whatever.
don't know.
Just
I'm
work with the
just
basic people.
yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
And
And I
I
didn't
hope.
like Have Mercy. Like that whole era
I
was
know
lost
that
on
was
me.
so annoying.
It was
So
disappointing.
annoying.
I want to like her music. I seriously, I really want to like it.
Yeah.
But I'm just not
It just didn't hit
I'm
like I
not
was
enjoying
expecting.
it, and I want to like her solo stuff. The only Chloe project I've liked recently was actually a Gunna song, which is maybe also problematic. Like it was Gunna featuring
I
Chloe,
think I know
and
which song you're talking about.
I really liked that song
Yeah.
actually. It's super gross, like emotional and like a lot about sex.
Yeah,
But
I think I
it's
remember.
not like a you
Did
song
they
necessarily,
date?
but
Or
I
like
feel like
were
they
they together?
did.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
think I
like they
remember
were.
this song.
I think that was when they were together or something. But and I like
Well,
that song. I just like that's the best Chloe I've gotten.
that's
What?
really sad.
That's wrong.
I can't wait for them to come back and do an album together. I hope that
Yeah,
it's because their first album was
it
so
was so good. Their
good.
sound together is really, really
So
good.
good. And their production was so cool. Like I hope they
Mm-hmm.
keep that like uniqueness.
Yeah,
Um yeah, I don't know. And Hallie's stuff I think will just be so beautiful. I'm looking forward to it.
absolutely.
Um
Yeah,
I think that's it for
I think
this
that's all
week.
we've got.
We're gonna
Wow.
do this album review.
Well, we have to do that next. It's
Yeah.
11 p.m.
Hold on to your panties.
Right. Hold on to your butts,
Yeah.
gamers.
Don't say gamers. This is a podcast, weirdo. Oh my god.
Sorry. All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
See ya.
See ya. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. Please don't fight anyone this week. If you want to ask us any questions, you can tweet us at 2cupsbetween. That's the number 2cupsbetween on Twitter, or you can send us an email at 2cupsbetween@gmail.com. Please have a good rest of your week and just stay in your lane. Don't fight anyone. Okay, bye.
Good outro.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That sounded sincere.
I liked it. Good outro.
Oh my god, you're the fakest person on the
I'm
planet.
not. I genuinely liked it. Why are
No,
you
I
telling
don't
me I'm being
believe you.
fake?
It's fine.
Oh my god.
Good outro. Do you think
I
that
liked
sounds
it. I thought it was good.
God?
Genuinely.
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
Wow. Coming after me over and over again.